Hi, my dog lovers. Hi. I'm here today because I want you to know how to trim your dog's nails properly. The reason is that many dogs actually suffer from nails that are too long or they don't let you trim nails, and it leads to disease and problems, maybe decreased lifespan. I usually say that you have to trim or start trimming or caring for your dog's nails very early on. The length ideally should be such that when your dog walks, he doesn't make clicky noise. And if he does make clicky noise, he doesn't make any marks in your hardwood floors, or the toes should not be lifting. So imagine that the nail is touching the floor and then your dog steps and it actually distorts the toe. So this is something that you really should avoid and ideally prevent. The biggest problem with long nails is that they affect the body on several different levels. The first one is the nail level. The second one is the foot level. And the third one is the organ and body level. Now, when it comes to the nails, when they're too long, the nail bed gets constantly injured and it may even get inflamed, or your dog will start licking, because when the nail hits the ground and it starts actually moving the nail bed, it's in constant movement and motion, and it's not supposed to be. Second, the foot is like a spring cushion, and it also enables the blood flow back to the body. If we have too long nails, the foot gets affected, and also the blood flow gets affected. So it's super important to have the nails short enough for the foot to be able to function normally. Now, in Chinese medicine and other energy healing, we acknowledge the fact that the energy meridians, or the lines, start at the toes. And if the toes are injured by too long nails, then it affects the energy flow to the body and to the internal organs. If you do neglect the nails, it's very similar to neglecting your dog's teeth. Very important, may not seem to be, but it is super important for your dog's well-being and health. If you have a puppy, most of them actually have very short nails and they don't touch the ground. But if you have an older dog, the nails have a tendency to touch the ground, because we have removed dogs from natural settings. They would normally wear their nails down, but in captivity, in quotes, or domesticated dogs do not have as much opportunity to wear their nails down. It really depends where you live, because some areas have enough rock and firm surfaces. If you walk your dog on sidewalks or rocks, rocky surface, then they wear their nails down. If you have a beach dog, if you live nearby the ocean, or if you live somewhere where there's soft surfaces, then your dog's nails will not wear down. So it's super important to know how long your dog's nails should be. And the rule of thumb is, ideally, they should not be touching the ground when your dog is standing, so you can actually look at it. When your dog is walking, they may be touching the ground a little bit. They may make a soft, clicky sound, but it should not sound like someone playing a piano. What I've seen in practice is that many people hate nail trimming. They're terrified of it. And many dogs are too, because we bring this drama into it. So it's super important to take the tools that you're using and allow your dog to sniff them and look at them and make sure that he's comfortable. Obviously, you should have a nice big bag of treats to feed your dog during the process, so your dog associates the trimming tools with treats. There are two kinds of tools that you can use for nail trimming. The first one is regular nail trimmers. And you have to make sure that there is a nice U-shaped blade on the nail trimmers that you're buying. Because if you buy the flat blade trimmers, they actually compress the nail such a way that your dog may be actually sore and sensitive. So this is the number one thing that you need to do. When you start trimming, if you're using nail trimmers, you actually start trimming very small bits, 1 to 2 millimeters at the most. One by one. Even after 30 years, I do the same thing. I trim very short amounts, because every nail has different shape of nail bed, the quick we call it. And if the quicks are long, or your dog's nails are long, the quicks actually grow longer. So you can never estimate by just the size of the nail where the quick is. So what do? You actually start trimming millimeter or 2 millimeters at the time of each nail, and the nail shape and size will change. You will see first a little dense outline with a little lighter center. As soon as you start seeing reverse, denser center and a little lighter outline, that means that you're very close to the quick and you have to stop.
Bugsy Wade, good boy.
Some dogs are really sensitive. Make sure that you have someone who will give your dog some goodies and treats, and just be very gentle and very patient. There's one thing that I would not recommend doing if your dog starts squiggling or squirming, that you let go. You just kind of try to release your grip a little bit, go with your dog movement, but bring him back in, or with the foot when you're holding it. Go with the hold the foot, constantly hold the foot. Go with your dog a little bit and bring it back in. And it may be a few little pulls before your dog settles down again, and a lot of treats.
Good boy.
So that's something that is super important. Don't fight with your dog if your dog starts squirming, but don't create a precedent of your dog getting away. I had so many dramatic situations in the practice where people would just be too weak and too soft with their dogs, and they would let go every time their dog would move. So then I have this little squirming dervish in my practice, and a nail trim would take an hour, right? So you don't want to pay an hourly fee for a veterinarian trimming your dog's nail. You have to really be patient and train your dog gradually. And I hope that after you watch this video, you will be able to trim them on your own. The second tool is Dremel Tool. And it's a rotating file that you can actually use. Dremel Tool is actually my preferred tool to trim nails, because you can actually file the nails and you can see the same changes from a light center to denser center, and you stop right there. So it's much less likely that you will actually trim your dog too far. The problem is that many dogs are actually afraid of the noise of the Dremel Tool or the vibration. So you have to be very patient. You have to use a lot of treats. You just have to turn the tool on, give your dog treats. If he or she is comfortable, then you go to the next phase and just kind of touch the nail slightly with the tool being turned off, and then turning it on, giving a lot of good treats, and again, start filing gently, gently, gently. And when you see that the nail is dense in the center, darker in the center, lighter on the outside, that's the time you stop. As I said, I love Dremel Tool because it prevents me from going too far. Nail trimmers are a little more challenging. If it happens to you or your veterinarian that he or she trims your dog too far, it is not their lack of skills or experience. It just is really hard. Nail trim may seem to be really simple, but it is really hard to do it well. And you cannot predict where the quick is. So it can happen. But if you see someone being really impatient and taking big chunks of the nail off your dog's nails, that means that they're much more likely to injure your dog. And I would just say, can you take a little bit by bit? That's a good recommendation. No matter how good you are nail trimming, it may happen that your dog will actually get trimmed too far and it'll start bleeding. The good news is that it looks worse than it is. So just be patient, take a piece of gauze, apply pressure. There are also some powders that you can get at pet store, or even silver nitrate sticks that you can apply to the nail. I personally use pressure and skin spray, which is a herbal formula that actually is astringent, constricts the blood vessels. So that's something that you can use. We have it on our website, and I use it for not only nails, but also wounds, incisions, insect bites, bee stings, swellings. Yesterday I bumped my head a little bit, my eye. I immediately sprayed skin spray on it and I don't even have a bruise. So that's something that can be a little stressful when you see your dog bleeding. Be patient, and if the bleeding doesn't stop, apply a bandage, pressure bandage, and leave the bandage on for 6 to 12 hours and it should be fine. Once again, I would put a compress of skin spray, take a piece of gauze, spray skin spray on it, and put a bandage on the nail and bandage it really nicely. But make sure that you don't bandage it too tight, because once again, you don't want to cut off the blood circulation. So that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you liked what you've seen, share it with others. And also don't forget to follow us at peterdobias.com. We send newsletters and information on how to keep your dog healthy. And most of all, give your dog a hug for me. Take care. Bye-bye.